From now we'll be recording. We are live, and let's just get into it. I'd just like to, first of all, to thank you guys for coming along. I really appreciate you all coming to this and joining me on this journey that we're going to be a part of. It's going to be really, really good, and I'm so excited to be a part of it myself as well. And I'm really going to give you everything I've got, and it's going to be a brilliant journey. You're going to get ideas that are going to come at you thick and fast during the mastermind, especially, but during the week as well. Once you're interacting with each other, it's going to be a brilliant journey. I've been a part of one of these programs before myself, and it's amazing how far you come in the 12 weeks. It seems like a different lifetime for me. And yeah, just try and be in a moment, guys. I know we can have a lot of things in our mind. The kids are obviously something that's an issue, but try and just be as present as possible, because, when we're thinking, we start traveling. Even if you find a good idea and you start thinking about it, you can just start wandering off on a tangent and you could miss something. I say it'll be recorded for you, but just try and stay as present as possible. If I was you, I'd get a pen and paper pretty handy as well for the sessions, and I'd keep a little section of the book just specified for the mastermind group, and that'll give you a good tips on how to refresh your memory moving forward. I'd like you guys to have your microphones on pretty much all the time. It's not a problem for me at all, as long as obviously there's not too much feedback from you guys, just so we can make it easier for the recordings. If like the phones or anything will be on vibrate or silent, would be really good. And yeah, I'd love it to be interactive as well, because the more interaction we get, the easier it'll be for me to present and for you guys to feel at ease, I guess. And I know it can be tough to interact sometimes because you might not know each other that well. And I know all of you, but you don't. Well, apart from Samantha, I know all of you from meetups and from just being friends on Facebook and stuff. And some of you I've known for a long time. I'll be on this recording, from the last few months. And you guys know me quite well, so feel free to interact. And the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. And yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So the group structure. So this will be the introduction call. We're going to have 10 chapters of the You Were Born Rich program, which will be broken up every week. So after tonight's session, I will upload the You Were Born Rich book for you guys to have a look at the video, the reading material, and also I'll just download the first chapter of the audio as well, for you guys that want to listen to it as well. I prefer to listen. I love reading, but I prefer to listen. I think it gets more information easier. So you guys have both of those options. I just listen to it on my way to work in the morning. That's one of the ways I do the program. I still listen to this program and read the book every day. It's one of the books that's really changed my life and a lot of other people's, and we'll go on about that in just a little bit. And at the end of it, we'll do a summary call just to see what you guys are and where you want to be moving forward. Because this is just the start of the journey, obviously, this mastermind. And you'll really understand that by the end of it. You'll realise you've come such a long way, and it'll be just like a different lifetime when you get to the end of it. I'll try and keep the sessions to about 90 minutes. It shouldn't be any longer than that. Preferably to about an hour or so, but they always run a little bit over because of the I get quite excited as well. I like talking and interaction as well. Try and log on a bit early to the meetings. You all did quite good today, but sometimes there are updates on the GoToMeeting app. So I wouldn't want you to log in at 1:30 and have to download the new stuff for 20 minutes before you can jump in. As I record all the sessions, I know people can be busy and life can get in the way sometimes, but they'll be recorded, and feel free to ask questions if you're not sure about anything, and I will help you, or someone in the group will probably help you as well, getting into it. As I said before about the noises and feedback, try and keep it down. You guys are doing pretty good at the minute. And you've also got a little mute in your mic on your app screen as well. If you know that there's going to be some feedback, feel free just to mute your mic for a little bit, just in case it does interfere. So why am I doing this mastermind? Well, basically the mastermind principle is one of the principles that works really well for developing new ideas. And I'll read this little quote here, which is straight from your Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the mastermind principle consists of an alliance of two or more minds working in perfect harmony for the attainment of a common, definite objective. Success does not come without the cooperation of others. And that is totally true. And to be fair, we are all like these people sat around the table right now. Even if you're watching this recording, you probably pick up the energy. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm already quite excited about, just getting into this and getting the energy levels going. And that energy level, what we're tapping into, is this third mind. Now, this is what the light bulb in the middle of this table kind of represents. The ideas and thoughts that are kind of flowing to and through us all. And we're going to go into a lot of the energy and the different laws that rule our lives, like the law of attraction and the law of vibration. And you can really start to understand, and it's going to be easy to understand because it'll be a week-by-week process. I'm not going to bombard you with a lot of information. It's going to be tough to understand. It's going to be just slow but progressive. And by the end of it, you'll be saying to your friends about the law of vibration, and I know I do as well, and on what frequency you're at. And it's it's really cool. It's really exciting just to get together as well and just sharing your ideas and your successes and your obstacles. Because a lot of the time, you only see when we get a problem, or when I get a problem, you only see it from your own point of view and how you can deal with it. But once you start interacting with other people that have got different perspectives, have lived different lives and had different experiences, and you ask them the same question, you'd be surprised at the different answers that could help you get to where you need to be. So feel free to be active in the group, during the week, and that'll really, help you get to where you need to be. If you're having a rough day, or if you're having a really good day, share your successes and how these principles are really starting to help you with your life. And it will start literally from week 1. You'll start noticing the change. So John Canary, this is a little bit of background on the people that I work with, and I work alongside John. Now, John and Bob Proctor created this program, You Were Born Rich, and they created it from their experience in life, from seminars they've been to, and all the different people and mentors they've attended. And it basically started with the first book of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a book that John still reads today, and I still talk to him about it. It's one of those books that are pivotal, and if you're interested in self-development, it's a book that I'd highly recommend in getting you started. And that was really the transition for them that really got them on track to where they need to be. So John had his own company before the You Were Born Rich program, and he started a dealership that, I'll read this to you. John started a dealership for an international office products company, and after 3 years, it was #1 worldwide. Then he entered an insurance profession doing direct sales, and he became the #1 agent in a field of 12,000 within just a year. Now, this is before all the You Were Born Rich stuff. It was just how John is and how proactive he is a person. Now, once he teamed up with Bob, and they started to get their own little mastermind going along, because obviously Bob Proctor is a driven person as well, and he started to understand the principles. They created a program, the You Were Born Rich program. He became a best-selling author internationally, and the whole thing with Rhonda Byrne as well, the law of attraction. The book The Secret, which I'm sure you might be aware of with the law of attraction, and that everyone knows a little bit about it. The book was written in 2006. Now, the law of attraction was out way before that, and Rhonda actually sat in one of the original You Were Born Rich seminars, which John and Bob had, when they were teaching about the law of attraction and the law of vibration. So, and it was there long before them as well. People from like 100 years ago had the law of attraction and how thoughts become things and how you can attract things into your life. John's worked with some brilliant companies all over the world. Prudential Assurance, now that's one of the companies that's one of the biggest financial giants the world's ever seen. A lot of the banks and everything is like with those. They've got about 28,000 employees that John's worked with over 6 years. Companies like IBM, Investing Group, Mutual Life of Canada, Bank of Hong Kong, Mutual Life of Canada, and just to name a few, just as a perspective of how far John's come by using these principles. The biggest companies in the world, and I work with him, and they've created these programs. So I don't know about you, but it was quite exciting to meet John and have, information from the man that actually developed the program. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm quite excited about it. And obviously there's Bob Proctor as well, the man who wrote the book, You Were Born Rich. At the age of 26, before all of this, Bob was earning $4,000 a year, and he owed $6,000. Now, this is obviously a while ago, and Bob's getting on a little bit now, and that was it was still a low wage, and he owed a lot of money. He didn't really know the principles, but he picked up a book called Think and Grow Rich, and literally once he transformed his life, within a year he earned over $100,000, and then well over $1 million the year after that. And he was a man that worked with Elle Nightingale. Now, I don't know if have you guys heard of Elle Nightingale?
Yeah.
No. Well, Elle Nightingale was one of the original self-development people. He had an audio called The Stranger's Secret. I'll send that to you guys in the group as well, just so you guys can have a listen to it. And that was a real precursor of the self-development, or self-help as it was then. And
yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah, he's got some so amazing stuff. And John and Bob both worked with Elle Nightingale and the Conan Company, and they were helping him sell his programs and his products. And now this is something like, for example, a similar sort of situation with me and John. He looked for a mentor, and the person he found was Elle Nightingale, and he worked with Bob through that before the whole You Were Born Rich program. And Elle Nightingale is simply unbelievable, and a lot of the self-development programs you see now are actually from Think and Grow Rich, and a lot of Elle Nightingale's programs like Lead the Field, The Essence of Success. So, we're literally getting the stuff directly from the people who were interested in self-development at the beginning. So it's quite exciting. Bob was in the film The Secret. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the film The Secret, but that's where he really started to become a well-known name, a household name, especially in America and Canada, but all over the world as well. He's an international best-selling author, and his book is an accumulative knowledge from his life and everything that he's learned from Think and Grow Rich, a book by Napoleon Hill, who spent 25 years of his life interviewing 500 successful people. Now, this is what I say with the environment you put yourself in, and this is why the mastermind works so well, because it's the environment you're putting yourself in and the people you're surrounding yourself with. So he surrounded himself with, the most famous people of the time: Thomas Edison, John Rockefeller, Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, and he, got all the lessons from those people of how they became successful, and wrote his book, Think and Grow Rich, which Bob's read for going on 40, 50 years now, and that's how he implemented his rules into You Were Born Rich. So, that's literally the start of the self-development, and that's a bit of Bob, and now a bit on me. I coach individuals and businesses to achieve and attract the things they want in their life. I help people overcome obstacles, achieve goals, and develop a mindset that will allow them to achieve anything. Now, it's a really exciting journey for me, and I'm really pleased to be in the whole self-development world, because it's been something of a passion for mine for a long time, and it's really helped me get through a lot of the tough times. I didn't really know what I was doing or where I was going in my life. And I've worked as a professional chef for 8 years now, and I've worked my way up into a lot of good restaurants. Not to brag, but one of the best restaurants I worked in was the 5th best restaurant in Australia at the time. Now, that's like a 3 Michelin star restaurant, if you guys know what Michelin is. Really, really good restaurants. I worked really hard, and I found a lot of passion in catering and food. I love sharing the idea, and I love the creativity around it. And it's a funny thing that somebody told me the other day, that you find your passion with something that you're good at. So initially it was just a job for me, it's something I always had to do to get money. But once I got better and better at it and understood it, it started to become a passion. So for all those people out there that say, I don't know what my passion is, just start doing things, and once you get good at them, you realise what your passion is. And if it's not that, it could be an aspect of what you're doing. So I came back to the UK after travelling Australia and New Zealand for almost 3 years. I started my own catering company. I worked up at the Commonwealth Games, Royal Ascot and other events. And I do a lot of freelance work currently just in and around Birmingham in the West Midlands. But it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows for me. After achieving all the great things I wanted in my life and working towards where I wanted to be in my career, I just really wasn't satisfied where I wanted to be. It was surprising because I'd set myself a goal of working in these top restaurants. I'd got there, but it just felt empty. I was socially awkward. I really struggled meeting new people because I was stuck in the kitchen working long hours. I was, socially uncomfortable. I struggled in relationships. I always blamed that work was taking over, but it was really me. And I was kind of depressed for a long time because I didn't really know where to go. And once you realise it, realising is a good step, but once you do realise it, it is quite upsetting that you know that you're social awkward and struggling relationships and everything. And being a chef, obviously I lived at McDonald's and ate takeaways all the time, and I didn't really know what I was doing wrong. I just knew I was doing things wrong. I didn't know how to turn things around. And this is another list of famous failures. Like, it's not just me that had a failure, it's everyone, and we all become stronger by our challenges. And I'm sure you've had challenges that you've struggled with as well in the past. Michael Jordan, was cut from his high school basketball team. The Beatles were rejected because they had no future in show business. Steve Jobs, when he was 30 years old, was removed from the company he started. Eminem was a high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty led to a suicide attempt, which is unsuccessful, but he still tried to kill himself. And now look at where he is. And I saw him the other day reading Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. So he's into self-development as well. So, you have to show where he's at now from where he is. Walt Disney fired from the newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. It's unbelievable, really what people think of where you are. So it's just, don't let the struggles get you down. Oprah Winfrey, wasn't fit for television. Albert Einstein wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old and never amounted to much. And he created the theory of relativity, or two theories, that changed the world completely. So don't let any failures that you've had or you're going through right now stop you and hold you back. Because they're really making you stronger and you're pushing your comfort zones and becoming the person that you need to be, basically. So self-development, and this is something that I've gone into myself. I changed my diet and worked on myself, learned about it, and I've studied it, and I've really figured out who I was. And that's basically me. So I'd just like to make sure you guys are still here. I've talked a little bit too much and I get a bit excited and carried away, but just like you guys to introduce yourself just for a minute or so, with where you're at now and where you'd like to be. So I'll just nominate, because I know it's quite hard to get out there. So Adrian, where are you at now, and where would you like to be, and like with your job as well, what do you do for a living?
Now I'm learning on about how to start an online business and trying different things. I have a website. It's still not selling. I'm still learning. In a few years, I want a successful online business. Also, I want a good relationship. I struggle with relationships right now as well, and these are primarily my first two objectives. These are my biggest concerns.
Thanks for sharing that, Adrian. I really appreciate your honesty there. It's nice to have somebody that's obviously got something to relatable for me, as where you are now as well. MJ, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Hi everyone. Let's see. I've got everything in life apart from money. I've got a lovely home, which isn't mine, but I rent it from good friends. I've got my 2 kids, and I've got a lovely partner. I'm doing a degree at the moment, a history degree. Yeah, I'm going to start up a little business soon selling forever living products, and I want to do really well on that so that I can buy my own home, go on holiday more, treat the kids more, just have a better quality of life.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thanks for sharing that, MJ.
That's okay.
And I know that Samantha, you can't get your voice across in this, but I'd like you guys to, if you wouldn't mind, and everyone listen to the recording as well, just to send a little voice introduction into the group, into the mastermind group we've got on Facebook, just to introduce yourselves, and so we can get a feel for who you are and what you want to do as well, and that'd be great, just so we can start getting to know each other, and potentially making a lot of friends as well out of it, because that's what this is all about. Creating relationships that are going to help us to moving forward, and just the excitement as well. So over to You Were Born Rich. Now this is a program which I've watched as well as a seminar, and it's unbelievable, and the depth of it's what we're going to be covering over the next 12 weeks. But the depth of this program is unbelievable, and they've gone through a lot of all the principles that they've learned from other people. They don't brag about the ideas as their own. They, like, same way with me. I know these aren't my ideas. The things that I've learned and I picked up from various sources, mainly You Were Born Rich, but the things that have worked, so why not share them with people? And it's an unbelievable program, and I work with people who are still reading this and going through the program every day, and I do as well. And you always learn more and more insights. And the thing with a program like this is, and you'll learn this once you go back and recap these chapters as we get further on, you'll start noticing information in there that you didn't notice before. And what that is because you've started to grow as a person, and it's not that the information wasn't there before, but there's a part of you that wasn't there before, and it's you growing as a person with this self-development and awareness of yourself and these principles that you'll start noticing how these principles are going to work in your life and start picking out new bits of information from various places, which is why I say to try and be present, because the information is all here. Once we get straight into the first chapter, you're going to really pick out the information, and the more you listen to it and read the chapters, I'd recommend you reading it a few times and listen to it a few times at least over the week. You're going to really get emotionally involved in the ideas, and that's one of the key things, is to get emotionally involved and really feel the information and how it's affecting you moving forward. And it's something that Bob did with his, how he moved forward so fast to his 100,000, and so I do as well. And something I've done is get emotionally attached to ideas. And like when you set a goal and put an emotional attachment onto it, how much it's going to help you and your family, how much it's going to help your confidence, and relatability with other people, how much it's going to really enhance you into where you need to be. This is why, I'm a big goal setter, but I don't like to tell people to write goals because it's a scare word, and a lot of people think, oh, goals is just a big thing. But goals have been really brilliant for me, and they've just been something that's been non-negotiable. I'll set myself a goal, and I know it's going to help my personal life, my relationships, my money. This is where You Were Born Rich does help finances a lot. It's not the main focus, but it definitely helps helps us get to where we need to be financially. Just make it non-negotiable for yourself, because you know the value and benefits you need to get out of it. So just say to yourself, I'm going to get this in this amount of time, and that's just it. Work as hard as you need to do to get to the information, and this information here is going to help you get there and unlock some of those barriers that might be in the way, and that old conditioning, which we'll go through as well. And as I was saying about old conditioning, there was when Bruce Lee was still alive and he was teaching people martial arts, he'd give them 2 glasses, and now one was water and one was cola, and he'd say, or something like that, and he'd say to them, so this glass of cola is you, and the glass of water is me. Now, I can't give any of my information to you because your glass is so full. And this is the same way with all of us. We all get information in ourselves and all conditioning from our lives and things that we know and that we've been taught, which I'm not saying are wrong, but there are a lot of things in there, and people struggle to change a lot of times. They keep doing the things they've been doing because it's easy to do things. We get in a comfort zone frame of mind, but the only way you're going to start unlocking your own potential and finding these new ideas is by taking a little bit what you know and start adding to the some of the stuff that I know and that we know as a company, and we're going to try and help you get there. So be as open-minded as you can, and I'm not telling you to accept, reject, or neglect any of the ideas that I put forth, but go with an open mind, and you're going to get the best results possible from that. Now, success is defined in a dictionary as the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, and a good or bad outcome of an undertaking. Now, the second one for me is being quite key, because sometimes we get a lot of struggles and a lot of bad things happen as we're coming across our goals, but that's just part of it, and you'll realise that as well. Once you notice the bad things that are happening, you start to focus on them too much, and you start expecting bad things to happen. But if you start focusing on all the positive things that are happening, and how much your life is changing, and how much, if you start asking the people around you, what about, they'll say, God, you're actually doing a lot of things with your life, you're actually moving forward. It's because you're changing, and it's whether it's good or bad, and sometimes it can be tough, but things that are worth working for are tough, because they're changing who you are as a person. Now, this is what we're saying with the cup of water and the cup of cola. You're taking away who you are to become who you want to be. This makes sense, guys?
Yeah, it does.
And it really is true, and it's hard to break out of the comfort zone. And the comfort zone frame of mind is it's a strange place to be. And you might have heard me say this before, but once you fall into a comfort zone, it's a scary place to be, because it does feel comfortable and it feels like a nice place to be. And a lot of the time, same with me, I worked hard to get where I wanted to be with catering, and I felt comfortable. I felt like I could relax. So I took a bit of time and worked at some nice restaurants and just relaxed because I'd earned my way there. And the same way with personal development, I'd felt like I was as comfortable as I wanted to be. I'd worked hard, and the same way with you've worked hard in your business and yourself and your education to get where you need to be now. You've taken a lot of risks, and a lot of the time you think, okay, I'm happy where I am right now. But anybody that says that is just ignorant of the fact that there's only two rules in this universe. You're either creating or disintegrating. You're either learning new ideas and building yourself, or you're dying. And there's no staying the same. There's nothing that can stay the same in this world. Like, if I put an apple on the side, and you'd say it's doing nothing, but it's dying. If you watch it in a week's time or a couple of days' time, you can see it starting to deteriorate. But when it's on the tree and it's just hanging there, it's actually growing, and you see it start to grow. So think about that for yourselves. If you're not thinking of where you're going next and how you're growing with your business and who you are as a person, you go in the opposite direction. Now, there's a few things here as well. There's the desire to want to have something. This is the big thing for me that changed. When I had the desire to want to change, which was initially with my catering, I did get to where I needed to be with my work, because I had that burning desire to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. And the same way now with my own personal development and the people I coach, having that desire to help people and then for them to achieve what they want to achieve. So have that desire, and I know I've been through the achievement plan with a couple of you guys, and that's just basically trying to figure out what your desire is and where you want to be. And then once you link it with your imagination and your creativity, visualize. This is what I say with visualizing. And once you get emotionally attached to an idea and really start making it something that you need to have in your life, you need to be this person, you need to get to this goal, you need to have this business because of this, and think about how it can feel, how it's going to feel when you've actually achieved everything you want to achieve. It'll really start to propel you forward, and every day, like I visualize every morning and every night before I go to bed where I want to be, different aspects of my future, and really link how good I'm going to feel with that. Like, even if it's just my social circle, I wanted to have like a big social circle that's similar to this, around creative people wanting to go somewhere in their life. And then once I started to imagining it, suddenly I started being around people that have similar sort of concepts to me and similar sort of ideas. And that's really exciting for me to have a lot of people in my life that are now pushing themselves, because it pushes you, and you can see people who are really getting somewhere. I even met a lady earlier on today who's a published author. She's been coaching people, and she's doing something now by helping kids develop emotional intelligence and setting goals and being who they want to be, and then setting them up to win, which is something that's like way down my goals. Once I'm set up as a coach, something I want to start working on. The younger people and working with the families and helping the kids develop the right ideas from a younger age so we're prepared for life. Because, I don't know about you, but I wasn't taught a lot of real world skills in school or, high school, primary school, or anything. I was still scared of talking to that girl you crush in school. You've been in school with them for 5 years and you're still scared of talking to a person that's in the same class as you and that's been there. And the same way with like high school as well, the same thing with college for me. I was still nervous about meeting people because I'm not taught all these ideas and things in there. So set yourself a goal, which is something I'd advise. I know a lot of you already have goals, but the more goals you set in different areas of your life, and that'll be the nicer thing for you, contribution goals, your relationship with yourself, financial goals, how much money do you actually want to earn exactly, and then you can make a plan of how to get there. Positive mental attitude, just be positive. Set yourself a task of being positive for three days consecutively with no negative actions, or not saying anything negative to people. If it's raining, have a smile on your face still, and that'll really start making you look for all the positive things instead of. We all know there's. Do you guys know those people that just always find negativity somewhere? Do you guys
Yeah.
have some of them people in your life?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Such
I'm
a
tired
drag,
of
aren't
them.
they? So like they bring you down to their level once you hang around them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to avoid people like that.
Exactly. And it's something that I've been working on with my girlfriend as well. And I don't try and coach her or anything, but she has like a busy, stressful job, and it's quite a physical job. She's a massage therapist, which I know you, MJ, have something to relate to there. And
Yeah.
she gets quite stressed out. Customers can be annoying, and then she can have like a bit of a rant sometimes. And I'm not going to say that's wrong, but I says to her, okay, fair enough. And then she said, I've got to meet someone later on. It's like, oh, well, what do you mean you're going to meet someone? They said, oh, there's this girl that, Stacey. So I'm thinking, well, I thought you liked Stacey. So, yeah, but she always complains about things, doesn't she? She always brings me down. So I says to her about this, the positive mental attitude, and I said, when she said something negative, and she's starting to realise now that it does have a big action. And she used to like this girl, Stacey, only a couple of months ago. So being positive, people really start noticing if you're negative. And if you're positive, they start wanting to be around the right sort of people, and people pick up on who you are and what you want to be, and you start attracting good people into your life. Hopefully you guys think I'm someone that's proactive in your life, and you're attracted and you found this through your positivity, and you're looking for something better in your life. And I really want to go into something as well in yourself. We can't have the results on the outside, that we want to have all this money, financial gain, social awareness, great relationships, until we really start changing things on the inside. And this is so true of what I found as well. I always just struggled getting into good relationships and making them last. And I always thought it was something else that was a problem. It was something else to do with it. Work was getting in the way, or the other person was, I don't want to say a bad word, but they weren't the best person for me. It was always something else. And once I really started to work on myself and really figure out what was going wrong, like I say, it was a bit upsetting to realise what sort of person I was, but then I can figure out where I need to be from it. And I started out with these ideas I'm sharing with you, and I really started to become the person I wanted to be. But you really have to start having these conversations with yourself of who do you want to be, and what are your values, what are your beliefs. And with these programs as well, we're just going to give you step-by-step guidelines to help you to figure out this sometimes, and to get you where you need to be and changing your mindset. Because this is something that the program's really going to give you, is the change to the mindset. Now, you might think that changing your mindset, what's that going to do for my results in life? And I know that is a bit of an issue sometimes, and it can seem like, I just want to get the results and then I'll be happy. It doesn't work like that. You've got to start with the mindset. You've got to start with the mindset first, because our mindset creates our actions. What we're thinking about is what we end up doing. If we're happy people inside, we externally represent happiness, and we start attracting people that are happy into our lives, and people that are proactive. The same way with success and business. If you act like a successful business person and you start talking to people who are in networking and people who are potential influencers and how they do the things they do, and you start creating the action, you start to get the results. So don't worry about your current results. Don't let them hold you back from what you want to do, because it all starts within. And this is what we're really going into. And once you start to focus on that, then you'll really start having changes really quickly. Now, this is another concept here which is something I really want to get your head around. I've spoken to a couple of guys about this, but when you visualize your mind, what do you guys first come up with? And that's a bit of a strange question. What about you, MJ? Do you have an image of your mind?
I've only what, sorry?
An image of your mind, where your thoughts come from?
Not really.
No, it's a funny question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the questions that I didn't understand either. When somebody, one of the guys that I work with asked me that, I didn't know either. I imagined an empty space where I could put ideas and get ideas from. It was a big white space where I had ideas, but it was quite a vague idea. But there's a concept which was created by James Allen and later on Elle Nightingale that say about the your mind and it being like a garden. Now, this garden is the most amazing garden ever, and it's got the most fertile soil you can imagine. Now, what you're going to do in this garden is just plant a seed, and any seed you plant in this garden, it'll grow 100% of the time. It could be an apple tree, it could be a palm tree, an oak tree, it could be any fruit or vegetables. Anything you plant in this garden, it'll definitely grow. As long as you give it attention, by I mean that is, watering it, maintaining the land, the seed will definitely grow 100% of the time. Now, if you can plant good things, you can also plant bad things, because it grows whatever you give it. The soil doesn't know or care if anything's good or bad. It just grows what you give it. So if you started to grow, poisoned ivy, weeds, or deadly mushrooms, or really bad things, it would still grow them. And you might wonder, why would you want to have these things in your life or in your garden? But it's the same way that I can ask you about negativity. Why would you want a negative thought or action in your life? And the attention you give to your thoughts is what makes them grow. And this is where law of attraction comes in, when you can turn your thoughts into things. And it's a basic concept of you are what you think about. If I'm thinking about prosperity and the coaching thing, then I'm going to start growing ideas from that and becoming the person I need to be. But if all I'm focusing on is negativity and what's going wrong with the world, then I'm going to attract that as well. And it's so true. Once you focus on the bad things, and you will find, if you're looking at this program and for all the bad things and things that are wrong with it, I can guarantee that you're going to find them. But if you start focusing on what you can get out of it and all the positives, you'll find them as well. And it's all about your focus. And this is what's in the last slide. And your mind is such a powerful tool, and it can get you to such a lot of places. And I set myself It's a little test, because it's a funny concept to get your head around initially. I set myself a test of doing this for 100 days, and I set myself a challenge, and I really focused on what I wanted to be, and I had a little goal card, and I wrote on my goal card what I wanted to be, and I looked at it every day. Every time I opened my wallet, I looked at this goal card of what I wanted to achieve. And then, I mean, at first, it seemed like an unbelievable thing. One of those things that, you really want to have. The same way with your businesses. It's something you really want to have, and you really want to get clients, but having it and wanting it are two completely different things. It'd be brilliant to have, but it just seems like a bit far-fetched and a bit hard to get your head around. But once you start to believe it and get emotionally attached to the idea and start acting as if you already are this person, because you're going to be eventually, if you aren't acting like you are now, and get comfortable with the idea, get your subconscious mind comfortable with the idea of being successful or good at your business or networking with the people, then you start to get comfortable. So when you get into a scenario when you're talking about your business to people, yeah, I'm a professional business person. I help individuals and businesses get from where they are to where they need to be in a very short space of time, developing a mindset of success to allow them to become top performers, and it just becomes natural. And it's not fake, it's just who you are. As a person, you start to become this by thinking about it. And I mean, I achieved my goal in 100 days, and initially it was set as a 1 year goal, and I turned it to a 100-day goal with help from John and my team, and it really just really focused on it and got to where I needed to be. So just let that represent like what you can actually do, and this is something we go into a lot with our coaching, and we really work on the mind, because as I said before, that's essentially all we are, is the mind. And that's why the circle on top is bigger than your body, because your mind controls everything who you are. It's what separates us from a pig or a horse. All the animals, we've got this marvelous mind which we can use to create or disintegrate whatever we want in our lives. And sensory factors, the little antennas on the top of our head, what we see, what we hear, what we touch, what we taste and smell, and that creates our little world, what represents our world, and let it into our conscious mind. Now, I'll just go briefly into this as well. The conscious mind is what we think about, what we're thinking about every day, what we're consciously aware of, what we want to eat, what we want to drink, who we want to talk to. It's our thinking mind, and it's where ideas come from. When you can place ideas, you can accept or reject any idea that you place into your conscious mind. Sorry, if someone says to you, "Go jump in the fire," you can reject it or you can accept it, but it's still a choice. And you've learned through your old conditioning not to do it. A good example would be when you're learning to drive a car. And I use this one quite often. When you learn to drive a car, you're very consciously aware of everything you're doing. Your hand's on the steering wheel, you got a hand on the gear stick, changing gears, you got a foot on the accelerator, a foot on the brake, a foot on the gears, and you're looking through the windscreen, you're looking in your mirrors, and you're talking to this person who's trying to direct you to where you're going. And you're trying to look cool as well, like like you've got some idea of how to control this vehicle, but you're very consciously aware. It's almost too much, which is why a lot of people stall the cars and it takes a bit of time to get used to. But eventually, it becomes easier. It becomes a habit. You start getting conditioned to be in the car, and then eventually it gets to the point of you can drive around and not even need to think about being in the car, or drive to work and forget the journey completely. You're on that much of an autopilot. But then think back to that first driving lesson and how tough it was, and how much you don't understand what's going on, and it's you want to give up. But this is what happens when you're changing and you're breaking out of your comfort zone and developing these ideas. You start becoming easier and easier to get used to these ideas of prosperity and success. And the tougher it is, it just means that you're more consciously aware, and the more things are going to get put into your habitual mind. And now your subconscious mind cannot reject any idea that's given to it. And it's something that our conscious mind gives us. And through repetition, which is repeating an idea, and this is what happens when you're planting your seed. You're placing a thought into your conscious mind and you're repeating it by giving it attention. It'll definitely grow in your subconscious mind, and just keep giving it attention, and and you cannot reject anything. So if you decide to become successful and you're going to have a business with lots of people, you can't reject it. You just start working towards it. It's why you set yourself, we all earn a certain amount of money in our lives. Say if you earn £15,000 a year, that's what you set yourself, it's what you earn. But what would happen if you said to yourself, by the end of the year, I'm going to earn £100,000? Now, and once you repeat this enough and enough times, your subconscious mind starts believing you can do this. I want to get emotionally attached to the idea, and I'll keep on repeating that as well, because it's something that you need to get conditioned into your minds. The emotional attachment is key. Then it just works out a way of how to earn the money. To break it down, to earn £100,000, you need to earn £8,400 a month. And then how am I going to earn that £8,400? Okay, so in an ideal world, I need to have 20 clients. I need to be hosting 2 events a month. I need to have a business client, and you just figure it out. And if you can't do it yet, that's not a problem, because you know how to get to it. Your mind just works it out, and if you haven't got a plan yet, just keep thinking about it and it'll get there. And then through these thoughts creates our action, which is like I was saying, you start working towards what you need to do in your action, and then that creates our results. So don't worry where you are now. Worry about what you're thinking about right now. Worry about where you're going to go. And results are the single most important thing in our lives. The better our results are, the more fulfilled our lives will be. Start becoming results-based people. Results in your health, wealth, happiness, relationships. Start planning what you want, how you want to improve your life. What areas could you improve on? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you in your health? Where are you in your wealth? If you're at a 6, what would need to happen to get it to a 7? Well, I need to, make sure I eat breakfast every day. Or I need to make sure I go to the gym 3 times a week. Okay, what would happen in your wealth? What level are you at now between 1 and 10? And where would it need to be to get to a number 10? Do you need to set aside a certain amount of percentage of your wages? Do you need to stop buying a coffee on the way to work to have that extra money? It's something small, but if you spend £4 on the way to work to get a coffee, at the end of the week, that's £28. At the end of the month, it's over £100. So it's money, you don't think about it, but it's just developing these plans. Do you get that, guys? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Adrian? Are you there, Adrian? Okay, Adrian's just might have popped off for a little bit. Hope I'm not boring you guys too much. Oh, there he is. Sorry, Adrian. Yeah, not a problem. So some of the things which will really help you in this program, and what I've said before as well, the repetition. Now I'm going to repeat a few ideas over the course of the full 12-week program that are going to become obvious, and you'll think, oh, bloody hell, Josh is talking about, repeating the ideas to your conscious mind, to your subconscious mind again. But it's because it's so essential. And once you start realizing the power of your mind, like that garden, it can literally grow anything. Human potential is infinite. There's actually a study in quantum physics where they got all the physicists together to determine what the potential of a human being is, and it turned out to be infinite. You can always achieve more. So keep repeating these ideas. They're going to be successful, and you'll pick up more information every 3rd or 4th time you listen to it that you might not have got a different perspective on. You might be in a different mood to accept the ideas in a different way. It's like I was saying earlier on, when you read a book and you read it again and you just discover more in the book, it's because your level of awareness has changed. You've developed an awareness that, you've started to understand these ideas more, so you're more open to them. And another part of this is to share your successes with each other, because you'll start to have them, even if it's just a small thing. Share them and start looking for them. And that's the key. Once you start looking for successes, you'll start finding them. And you'll program your subconscious mind to start looking for successes and ways that you're having positive things in your life. And, even share your obstacles with people. And, if you're struggling with a certain thing, it's just best to wear it and We can help you get to where you need to be. You know, as a group, maybe I won't be able to help you get to where I need to be, but maybe MJ can. Maybe the guys in the recording can help you get to where you need to be because they've had a similar experience, or they've got maybe their own perception on a certain idea. They can just help you, you know, and we're there to help each other progress in our lives. It's like the acorn and the oak tree. Being specific of what you want and having a clear picture of what it looks like. Now, there's something programmed into an acorn that is determined to be an oak tree, and that's just its law of life is to become an oak tree, and that's all it is going to be. So set yourself a thing that's non-negotiable for you. What do you want to be, and where do you want to go? And make it non-negotiable. You're going to become this no matter what. And this is the thing with the law of attraction. You know, that this acorn, this tiny little acorn, goes into the ground, and it's just an acorn. And it's pretty amazing that once the acorn's in the ground, it starts attracting things into its little existence to get to where it needs to be. This oak tree, this huge thing, and that's just attracting it because it knows that it needs to have these things. So what are you attracting into your life? You know, and start getting towards it. And it's almost invisible at first. It's like an acorn in the ground for, you know, a couple of weeks, and it doesn't look like it's happening anything to it. And the same thing can happen to us. You know, we just seem to be doing all these right things, and nothing really seems to be happening. But as long as you're working, there's something I heard the other day, which was, you know, it blew me away a little bit. It was obvious, but it blew me away. If you're working towards something, you're doing certain things every day, activities that you're working towards that I know you're going to get to where you're going to be and help you to become successful, it's undeniable that you're going to become successful if you continue to do these things. It might take, you know, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years, but it's undeniable you're going to get there. And the more you want to get there, the more you're going to start attracting these things into your life. So eventually this acorn starts getting this shoot out and it starts growing into this big tree. And once it gets out, it starts progressing faster and faster. Because once you start moving forward and you start seeing results, you start understanding that these things actually do work. And you can get to where you need to be a lot quicker. And, you know, if you only set mediocre goals, you're going to get mediocre results. But if you want to really get unbelievable results in your life, you've got to set yourself unbelievable goals. Because that's, you know, it's what's going to happen. And if you start working towards it, it's going to happen for you. I mean, look at you, for example, if I'd have gone back 100 years and said to somebody, what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to go into this metal box with wings, and it's going to fly in the air, and while I'm in the air, I'll be sat in a really comfortable chair, or I could lay down and have a little sleep. I could open up my laptop, which is a machine, and I can have a conference call with a few different people in different areas of the world at the same time. I can see them, and at the same time I can be eating my favourite meal on the aeroplane. You know, people would say you're crazy. And it's true. You know, people would just be like, what are you talking about? You're an unbelievable person. This is an absolute joke. It's not going to happen. And it is true, you know, and it's a similar thing now with people who want to achieve things that haven't got them, or they might not even exist yet. People might say, you can't do that, it's impossible. Look at the things we have. Who would have believed we'd fly around in metal boxes with mobile phones and internet and land on the moon within the precision of a second? You know, we timed that moon landing with the precision of seconds, and we're on Earth. So it's amazing what you can do, and your human potential is infinite. So really moving forward, John Canary is a person I work with, and you know, if I was to say to you, what is a coach? A coach is action orientated, asking you what you are willing to do, when you are willing to do it, and how you'll get it done. A coach holds you accountable while listening deeply, intently, and empathetically, building a solid relationship founded on awareness, understanding, and trust. The direction provided is always forward, always overcoming obstacles and continuing toward your personal professional goals. And that's what I'm here for as a coach and as like a mentor for you guys. And what you guys can do for each other as well. You know, I'm not telling you to become a coach, but Become the person who resonates this for people around you and help them get to where they need to be, because it'll help you get to where you need to be as well. Especially if you're in business and sales and you try and get people involved in the business, become a person who's action orientated. Start making action towards getting to where you need to be. And what you're willing to do. This is something that I learned from a podcast I listened to. Just take some time in the morning, maybe 20 minutes or half an hour, set your alarm half an hour earlier, and figure out what things are possible to get you where you need to be in your business. What could you do? Who could you speak to, or what could you do to get you further on in your business? And write a list and just keep on thinking and thinking and thinking. And this is, again, the repetition of your subconscious mind. What you start looking for ideas, you start seeing them in your day-to-day life as well. You start being open to more ideas. And then once you've got these, some of them might sound crazy. Some of them might be, if you want to become, a business person, you're just going to go into a place that's got lots of employees and just say, hey, I've just got a product I'd like to share with everyone that's going to help them perform better in their life and in business and become better salespeople. And we're okay to go around and have a little talk with you guys, your employees. And if they say yes, you've got potentially 20, 50 clients. And it might sound like I just made that up. It might sound a bit crazy, but just play around with ideas and figure out what could you do to get you where you need to be. And then once you've got that idea, how are you going to get to them ideas? How can you implement them into your life? And if you do them, are they going to help you get to where you need to be? Because if the answer is yes, then you really need to start doing them, or you need to do something like that to get you where you need to be. So start thinking about where you need to be with your life. And that's what I do as a coach. I help you figure out how you're going to get things done and holding you accountable for things that you said you want to get done. And who'd hire a coach? And why would you hire a coach? Because especially in England, it's a bit of a strange thing. People don't understand why would someone want to have a coach, and it's a bit of a, people like doing things by themselves, especially in England. If you look over in America or Canada, everyone seems to have a coach because they understand how essential it is to have someone encouraging you to get to where you need to be, and someone who's just saying, well, not being pushy or anything, but saying, well, what are you doing to get to your next level in business? And if your answer is, well, I'm doing this. Oh, well, when do you do that? Well, if the answer is, if you go into the gym, for example, you want to get healthy. Oh, well, what are you doing to get into shape? Oh, well, I'm joining the gym. Well, when did you join? Last week. Well, how many times have you been in the last week? Oh, well, I've been twice. Oh, okay, sure. So you're quite committed to getting fit, but not totally committed. Well, what are you going to do next week to maybe improve on that? Oh, well, I guess I could change my diet a little bit and maybe improve that. If it's something I really want to do, I guess I could do that. And it's just a person who's there to really support you and ask you the questions that you need to be asked. Because the answers and results in our lives just depend on the questions we ask ourselves. Personal and professional coaching has become one of the most important factors in living an effective and impacting life. The industry has grown exponentially, trending across social networks and media and modern media progressively, affecting businesses and individuals across the world. It's no longer an alternative or an option. Coaching has become mandatory. It's essential. If you're trying to succeed, especially in network marketing, there are hundreds and thousands of people who are in network marketing. You need to have people that are holding you accountable and getting you where you need to be. Otherwise, you're just like everybody else. You're part of the crowd. But if once you start attracting people into your life that are pushing you and getting you where you need to be, you start pulling away from the crowd. And soon enough, you won't be able to see the crowd anymore. And you found this page in this group because you desire excellence. And if you desire excellence, you must understand this principle that John F. Kennedy said: do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men, or pray to be stronger people. If you're struggling in a certain area of your life, just try and be stronger. And just try and figure out, and someone that can help you become stronger is a coach. And surrounding people like this mastermind, surrounding yourself with people who are going to really push you, get to where you need to be, and just not necessarily push you, but just encourage you, and are there for you to help you, unconditionally. And as I said, a bit of a background on John. Now, this is a guy who I have as a coach myself. He coaches me. And there's a quote by Bob Proctor, and it says it works like this. Think of a moment of hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, I can take you into corporations from Asia to America that credit John Canary with sales increases in those numbers. His information is transformational. His presentation is effective. He is definitely effective. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's in companies that I've mentioned earlier, like Prudential, and Singapore Airlines. Companies that he's really just helped through these ideas, through literally this Born Rich program. And if it can help them with those sort of results, imagine what it can do for you. So I know I've talked a lot in this this intro session, just to try and get you guys just caught up on what's happening with everything. But how are you guys? How are you feeling about everything with this, MJ? Are you feeling like, how are you feeling with it?
Yeah, the bit about having a coach makes sense, because if you think of an Olympic athlete, they all have coaches to train them in their sport, and why should it be any different in business? If you're entering a business or fitness plan, you need a coach to push you along, show you how it's done, and encourage you.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, not just like myself as well, but just surrounding yourself with people who've been on your journey. I'm sure with Forever Living for you, you've got people who are part of the group you can reach out to. And ask them, yeah.
I mean, in the past, I've sort of used all these techniques without even realising it. Because when I was at school, I wasn't very academic. I was very sporty and arty, but I was just crap at everything else. And so, like, family members sort of cottoned onto that and just told me that I was thick. And so that sort of stuck with me through my childhood. And so I didn't do very well on my GCSEs, because I thought, what's the point in trying if I'm thick? And I left school with crap qualifications, got a dead-end job. And then in my late 20s, I had my daughter. And, if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. And I kind of felt that way, like my IQ level was dropping. So I decided to do a degree, because I wanted to prove to all those people that told me that I was thick that I was wrong. So I had this really strong desire, even though I had those constant feelings of doubt, I'm thick, I won't be able to do it. My desire to achieve that was so strong that I managed to overcome all those negative thoughts. And here I am now, 2 years' time, I'll have my BA Honours in History. And it's something that I never in a million years, like 10 years ago, I never thought I'd ever get a degree.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, I think, that if you believe something and you ignore your own negative talk and you have like a really strong desire to achieve it, then I think that you can. You've just got to, do all pretty much what you've already said.
Yeah.
I've done this before, I just didn't realise I was doing it.
Well, it's just so powerful as well, and I say once you realise it, you start thinking, oh my God, I have done this, or I've, like, in the negative term as well, like when I was saying earlier on about the influences in the outside that we condition ourselves to become, people telling you you're thick. You've told yourself again and again, or other people have told you again and again that you're not intelligent, and you've started to believe that you're not intelligent because it's what everyone's saying. What your grades are starting to say, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's just who I am, and you become that person.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you said about the garden. I had weeds in the garden, and I had to pluck those out so that good things, nice plants, could grow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's such a nice thing for you to say. Oh, thanks, MJ, for sharing that. That was really, really nice.
Okay. I just, as you've been going through this, I just thought, oh gosh, I've done this before. I just didn't know.
You didn't realise.
No.
It's that desire. The first step is the desire to change, huh?
That's right. I so badly wanted to move my life forward and prove everybody wrong.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased. and I'm really pleased moving forward as well. And just getting into the really nitty gritty with the programming, and just, I mean, it helps me so much, and I literally listen to it every day still because it's one of them things that you can just reinforce it in the same way. If you reinforce the negativity as if you reinforce the positivity again and again to yourself and the success, you start to become it. And like the same way with you becoming intelligent, MJ, you can reinforce the success and the financial gain that you want to have through ideas. And the first chapter is Me and Money, which I'm going to release to you guys in just after we end this call. And if you guys can start getting into it, I'll release the book for you as well. And just start thinking about the ideas that I've been sharing with you, and just really let them grow on you. Plant that seed in your garden and just let it grow, and just keep an open mind towards things and start looking for opportunities in your life, and all the positivity, and just focus on that for now. And this chapter, as I say, the group's going to be interactive throughout the week. So how you're finding it? Please feel free to have a little message and and jump on and have a little chat with the guys. I'll say again, just for the guys who haven't been on the call, I'd love it if you could just do an introduction with maybe a bit of audio as well, just so the guys can get a feel for it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next 12 weeks. It's going to literally blow you away. I'm so excited. I'm not sure you guys can just feel this energy already, but I'm so excited about coming together and sharing these ideas with you guys. And yeah, so this is the first session is pretty much finished now. I'll upload the recording to you guys out tonight or in the morning, so you guys can watch back in case you want to refresh any of the ideas for you. But yeah, I'm really pleased. Hope you guys can all get interactive next time, and also with the timings for next week, all feel free to jump in and ask what a preferable time is, and we can change the day to another day in the week, so it makes it more easy for everyone to get involved.
Yeah, because sorry, my fella's home tonight, so I've not had any interruptions. But like I said, he's out every Tuesday, so it means
just that one day.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of noise in the background to see with the kids.
Yeah, no worries, absolutely. I'll probably change it to a different day then if it affects you, and then we'll as long as it works well for everyone else, it shouldn't be a problem really.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's the introduction out of the way, guys. So I'm looking forward to you guys getting stuck into the Me and Money chapter and the You Were Born Rich book. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys during the week and then on the call next week. Okay, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you guys soon.
Okay, thanks ever so much then, Josh.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Josh.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.